What's up, everybody? James Duggan here with Adam Saltzman of Finji, and we are checking out Overland. Can you tell us what Overland is, as well as hit new game?
Heck yeah. So Overland is basically XCOM meets Oregon Trail, which is also totally incorrect, but it gets people in the right basic
Mindset?
frame of
Sure.
mind. Yeah, squad-based tactics, road trip heading west across the United States. So this is Dana. Dana used to leave dumb messages on her answering machine and misses her friend. And her goal is to collect as much fuel as she can, get in that car, head west on kind of out into the unknown.
And so you mentioned to me that this is set in a post-apocalyptic setting.
Yeah.
How dangerous is this post-apocalyptic world?
Well, it depends on a bunch of different things, but pretty dangerous. It's the end of the world, and there's no what do you call it? Bruce Willis character, basically.
Mm-hmm. Whatever are we going to do? Who is this guy? Is he Bruce Willis?
Oh no.
No.
Who is that? That's Irving. Irving has CPR training, which is pretty clutch.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
when we get to know him a little bit better, he'll be able to use his kind of natural charisma to allow us to recruit people more easily.
Charismatic, good in emergency, and look at that jawline. I'm not sure that's not Bruce Willis.
It might be. It might be.
So you have this kind of tactics-based small map, and then I assume that there's kind of like an overworld where you're moving map as well?
Yeah, exactly. As soon as we've got enough gas in this car, we're going to basically drive out the side of the map, and it's going to take us to the first of many kind of procedurally generated maps.
Something skittered to the bottom of the screen. What is that? Looks dangerous.
Yeah, we got a little buddy down there. He's not too dangerous quite yet, but we're probably going to need to go anyway.
See ya.
So yeah, now we're off to kind of the first map screen. This game's we're still really, really early. We consider this to basically be an alpha still. So that first area is actually going to be the eastern seaboard of the U.S. is actually be quite a bit expanded from here. But we're off to sort of the first kind of big proper area of the game, which is the woodlands.
So is this linear or randomly generated in terms of like these events and biomes?
Pretty much everything is randomly generated here. So this this map here, you will never play this same map again. You're going to encounter similar challenges, but not in the same order, and you're going to have to make different decisions every time you play. And each site that we stop at on the way is going to be randomly generated to a much deeper extent. There's several layers of generation, all that good stuff.
So it's not unfair to call it a roguelike?
I don't think so. I definitely think of it that way. Right now, this is also where we're going to make our higher level like strategic choices. So we have a couple of options here. We have a lot of gas in the car. That's good. We have a couple people. That's good. There's going to be at least one opportunity along the way here to recruit another person. And we've got 3 possible destinations. There's a place with a bunch of fuel, but we're basically good there. So we probably don't really need to prioritize that. We can stop here and pick up maybe some med kits, maybe some weapons, stuff like that. Or we can kind of skip and just like bulldoze straight to the end.
That's cool. So you have potentially a preventative measure there. Nobody's hurt right now, so it's not necessarily reactive.
Exactly.
So you have to kind of pick and choose what you want to spend your time on. So what would be the deterrent? Is there something chasing you? Like in an FTL, you are kind of pressured to make these choices, and you can only make a few in a zone before you're pushed on to the next one. Is there a similar scenario here?
Yeah, the main thing that you're just trying to manage is the amount of gas that you can keep in the car. And it's going to be less of a strain in the early part of the game here.
There's another one of those weird creatures.
Yeah, and this is actually handy. This is a rainy level, and in the rain, the loud sounds that attract the creatures, kind of pull them up from under the ground, are dampened. So we can actually safely fight this creature and then kind of explore the level.
These creatures seem not conventionally terrestrial in nature. Unless I'm just completely misinterpreting them visually, but it looks like a tiny little Cthulhu.
Yeah, we're not saying a whole lot yet about exactly what they are, but they are, they're kind of doing their own thing.
Sure.
The normal pacing in an Overland level, which we'll see on the next stage actually, is a little bit different from your normal like action RPG loop. So like a kind of a normal game loop that you might run into, especially in a roguelike, is it's going to randomly generate a dungeon, and you murder everything in the dungeon. and then you pick up all the treasure, and then you kind of go on to the next area.
Sure.
And rainy levels are the only times that an overland level functions that way. Ooh, the knife. Ooh, but the pipe. All right, I'm gonna.
So you have a certain amount of inventory slots with each.
You start out with really limited inventory, but you can find some items that'll expand that for you later.
Great.
Knife is a pretty handy item. Pipes are really handy in rainy levels too.
So is rainy kind of representative of it's going to be a violent combat level? Is that what you were getting at earlier?
It kind of depends on what the player is up to. It just kind of changes your repair kit. Okay. So we're just going to pull him in, and we're going to stash this repair kit in the trunk. So you can see that's kind of stored in the car there.
Great.
And we're going to switch items. And we're just going to grab that knife before we go, because that's actually going to come in pretty handy. And we're kind of taking a gamble here. I'm guessing that our car is probably going to take damage before my people do. And so I'm going to bring the repair kit along for now instead of the first aid kit.
Sounds like the words of an experienced player.
Yeah, I would like the car starts with a first aid kit in the trunk every time you start a new game for a reason. That's become widely apparent that that's very important.
So you're talking about the number of people we have as a factor that we can change. Can you increase the capacity, say get like an SUV? Yeah,
exactly, actually. There's currently 4 different vehicle types, and their stats vary in a few different ways. Some have more passenger capacity, some have more storage capacity, and less, and so on.
There seems to be a person right up there.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's search in here. Oh, we got a shield. So there's, because, so yeah, let's go over and say hi to this guy. Ooh, I think she's got energetic. I think she just moved 3 spots.
So
here's the normal thing you see. We attacked that monster. Great, it died. When it dies, it sort of releases a thing that's going to call in reinforcements.
Oh, but the rain suppresses that, or?
Yeah, the rain normally suppresses that.
Okay.
So right now, there's rain and wind are the 2 primary types of random weather that can occur. And you can also see from the background that it's sunset of the first day. So the next level will be night, and then we'll kind of start up on day 2.
I really like that, because a lot of the times in an isometric viewpoint, it's really difficult to convey what time of day it is or what the lighting scenario is. So
right. And all the shadows are being cast. So we're driving west, and you can see the shadows are actually cast to the west from where the sun would be, too. Let's go search this dumpster over here, too.
So those, until they're part of your party, those NPCs seem to have a will of their own?
Yeah, they've actually got an AI with a couple of varying levels of priority, and not everyone wants to travel with you. The reason we pulled over here is one of the characters actually had heard a rumor that there would be a nice person here. And occasionally, you're just going to find people who are kind of trying to do the same thing that you're doing.
Are there any hostile human characters?
Right now, only if you start the fight first. If you start a fight, they will fight back.
Is that something you're potentially looking to implement in the future?
Well, right now, it all actually works. The question is how we want to put it in there. And I think what I want to save it for is for people that you have previously wronged, who will sort of stick around and maybe chase you down later.
Love it.
All right, so we got a new person. Charlene's new on our team. She also has CPR training, and when we get to know her a little bit better, then she's going to actually get 3 moves per turn instead of 2.
Sure, and then that third stat I see down there, or just the third, I guess the second lock icon, what is that representative of?
Oh, yeah, that'll be when we get to find out more about their backstory.
Oh, that's really cool. That's a nice little thematic incentive.
Yeah. And so, again, because this is an alpha, a lot of these things just kind of are going to come on. It's going to be the nighttime of the first day here, and then it'll be morning of the second day. We're actually going to find out more about Irving on the second day.
Starting to run a little low on gas, too.
Yeah, and I had taken a bet that I was going to be able to find gas in this next area, and it looks like that's totally not going to happen. So we can actually make it here, and there should be some fuel here. We're going to be cutting it a little bit close, though.
So those enemies that we've seen so far seem pretty trivial in terms of their difficulty. Are things going to change at night or progress to get more difficult as we go through the game?
Yeah, so the area of the game that we're in right now...
Immediately answered.
Yeah, so there's a new guy. And this is... So Overland doesn't really have boss levels so much as roadblocks, which are sort of these... they're not offset off the road, and so anytime we make sound here, there's going to be one extra reinforcement more than normal for every sound that we make. So the intensity of the level is going to increase way faster than normal, and we actually can't get through here. We actually have to kind of get out and clear the road and make space for the car to get through. Ooh, this is a tricky one. It randomly generates all the obstacles here, and it's actually generated a dumpster in the place where I usually push or it's put a rock in the way where I usually push the dumpster off the road. So we're gonna have to improvise
by
a
your
little
own
bit.
system.
That's my favorite way to make games, though. All right, this guy already took one hit, so we can hit it with a knife. Oh yeah, that's good.
Those are like little emergence holes popping up out of the ground there that are gonna potentially spawn some baddies.
Yeah, so they're kind of moving up to phase 2.
Wow,
so
there's 4 of them already.
Yeah, there's 5 actually.
5. Oh, it was covering the. Wow.
Yeah, it's
Dangerous.
gonna be
6, 7.
Yeah, so the roadblock levels are really all about can you get the road clear and how fast can you do it
Sure.
before things get really serious.
And I assume you pretty much need to pick up fuel here, right?
Actually, yeah, we can't even start the car.
Sure.
So we definitely need some gas.
Oh goodness. Oh.
Oh yeah.
They are very creepy, even in their polygonal kind of stylized nature.
Yeah, it actually took a pretty much a good solid year to figure out exactly what the right kind of creepy was, because we didn't want to. People may know this already, but there have already been several post-apocalyptic video games.
Really? Wow. Are there movies too and books?
Yeah, it turns out it's pretty popular, and so trying to find what was the weird special thing that maybe we could do that hadn't been done normally. So now this is tricky. I really want this gas. It's not safe to go stand over there. We didn't bring a shield or a med kit, so somebody's probably going to take a hit here.
You do have some CPR training at your back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that'll help if they get all the way incapacitated. We'll be able to kind of bring them back from the brink.
But I assume these enemies aren't going to stop spawning.
Nope.
Right.
All right. So let's grab this gas. Get it back here. Oh wait. Oh wait. Yeah. Here. Yeah, you grab the gas. We'll get you in the car, and we can actually fill it up from in here.
Oh, nice. So you did a little switch with the action points
Yeah,
there.
there's one of the design goals was sort of to make a strategy game that had a few less kind of stats and tech trees and things like that. But if you take all that complexity out, you kind of have to start bringing it back in somewhere, or else things start to feel flat, or like your choices are kind of limited. So there's a lot of kind of almost puzzle game style use of your movement points and things to try and sneak out of situations. So this is going to be cutting it close, but I think we can get her in the car. And we can do this. Okay.
Whew. Wow. Well done. Flattened.
Yeah.
Great.
So that's the boss level for like the kiddie pool area.
I can only imagine. So running a bit short on time here, Adam. What are you looking at in terms of early access or just release plans for the future of this game?
Yeah, so we're going to be running sort of a paid private alpha program with a sort of limited release of keys. It's going to be staged out over the rest of the year, and there's going to be a whole bunch of news about that really soon. If this looks like the kind of game that you're into, currently the only way to find out where that web page is, how to get those keys, when that's going to happen, is to sign up for the Overland mailing list, which is on the Overland website, which is overland-game.com.
There you go. Check it out. Overland-game.com. And for all things gaming besides that newsletter, keep it right here on IGN.